moved in with her mother. So, David.
I didn't bring my own. I'm going to have to use the demo. What a wonderful school, Emerson College. You know, I mean, when I came to Boston several years ago, I had no idea where the friendships that I was forming, the habits that I was learning, the things that were happening in my life at that time, where it was going to take me. I had no idea. I knew from the time I was 10 years old I always wanted to be a filmmaker. I used to make kung fu movies in my backyard, you know, with the camera and, you know, fighting with the neighbors and all that kind of stuff. And I just knew I wanted to go to a film school, and I wanted to come to Emerson. And I'm thinking as I walked in here, you know, being able to read something like this, it says reserved for participating author. I never thought that I would get this far. You know, I wanted to be a filmmaker, but then, you know, an author as well. But that's what I learned from the people that I met at Emerson College, that you can do anything. I mean, I met these people who were like, hey, let's go film something, let's do a commercial, let's, you know, all these things. So, you know, I'm forever gratitude. So, when your parent moves in, maybe about 6 years ago, the family felt that it might be a good idea for my mother-in-law to move into my house. And I will say I made this decision very quickly. Made it at a time of crisis. She had fallen, and it was, what are we going to do? Where are we going to put her? You've got a big house. She could sell hers, put an addition on yours. And the thought is, and I think a lot of us walk around thinking about this, it's like a backup plan, right? I mean, how many people really have a plan for their parents? Does anybody really have a well-thought-out plan that if something happens and your parents can't live on their own anymore, what they're going to do with them? I know I didn't. We went to our default. People say, you know, I'd probably just move them in. We think it's a small thing, but it's not. This is a very big thing, as I found out. It's something you really need to be prepared for. And I wasn't prepared. And as I lived through it and had these bumpy times, I started looking on the internet thinking, well, there's got to be, you know, there's a book on everything, right? I'm looking, I'm clicking. I'm going through Amazon, I'm searching. You know, every title I can come up with, I'm like, there's nothing. I can't believe this. So I got together with a friend of mine, an author friend named Shira Block, and I said, I need this book, so I think that we should write a book, a guide with the stories about what it's like to have a parent move in and all the things that happen, how you get through this process. And that's where When Your Parent Moves In came from. So my book's not as exciting with stories and things like, it's not poetic, you know, there's some practical information in here. But I will say that, you know, what's interesting, I've done some radio interviews in the past few months. I had no idea I was writing the equivalent to a sex guide. And I say that because, you know, parents don't want to talk to the kids about sex. So they say, here's a good book, you know? Well, people don't want to talk to their parents about moving in or not feeling comfortable with it, or if they do move in, maybe we're not going to have dinner together every night. I mean, how do you say that to your mom or dad if they move in, that you need some family privacy? So I say, get 2 copies of the book. Just say, you know, maybe we should both read this. You know? All right, so let's see what we got here. We are the sandwich generation. We're sitting between 2 generations needing care, our children and our aging parents. Although it may feel at times that we're alone in this emotionally, financially, and logistically challenging situations, there are a million of us facing this responsibility. We wrote this book because we were faced with caring for our elderly parents in addition to caring for our own families. We fumbled through this process. While there are many books about caring for the elderly, not one addresses the problems that arise when deciding whether or not to blend several generations under one roof, let alone offer guidance on how to do this successfully. The good news for you is that because of the difficulties that we faced, we made it our mission to help you avoid making the same mistakes that we did. We provide the necessary tools so that you can make the best decision for your individual situation. By the time you finish this book, you will know how to decide if a loved one should move in and how to make it work, and if you ultimately come to that decision. When Your Parent Moves In will help you decide if having a loved one move in with you is the right decision, plan for the move, spell out rules, and create healthy boundaries for your new living arrangement. Expect the unexpected and learn how to roll with the changes. Decipher your parents' financial position and best protect and manage their assets. Create open dialogues. Deal with difficult personalities. Find balance, or something like it. Preserve your core family unit. We wrote this book to shed light on the ups and downs, what it means for you, your family, your parents when you live together, and we hope when your parent moves in, we'll help you every step of the way. Since you're reading this book, you're probably looking for help. Something is probably changing the care needs of your parent, and you're trying to manage this difficult time. For you, the time has come, and something needs to change. Maybe after taking the moving in quiz in Chapter 2, you'll decide to move your parent into your home. Maybe you'll come to a different conclusion. Regardless of the change you ultimately make, the road to the decision should be paved with knowledge rather than a hasty or impulsive decision.